Welcome to the Daily Review. This is Razak, Senior Trading Strategist here at CMTrading. And today is September 16, 2025, and today is Tuesday morning. So looking at the highlights of the day, watching the markets trade higher. Now we're going to break down which markets, what markets. But first, looking at today's major economic events, we have at 2:30 South African time. Out of the United States, we have retail sales number coming out and core price index CPI number coming out of Canada. Now, breaking down the market, starting with the Forex symbols, U.S. dollar advances versus the major pairs, specifically against the Canadian dollar and the Japanese yen ahead of the Fed rate decision tomorrow night. Now, looking at the indices, NASDAQ trades to new all-time record highs, while the Dow Jones is trading on its highs or just off, and you see that rotation continuing. Now, looking at commodities, gold also trading higher to new all-time record highs as well. And looking at the stocks, JP Morgan trades to all-time record highs. So you see it's very stock-specific, very asset-specific. And lastly, looking at cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin remains unchanged. So let's take a look at the markets and see what we can expect from today's trading. So here we go. First with the GBP/USD. Now the GBP/USD is getting weaker versus the dollar, while some of the others are getting stronger. And it's kind of interesting how this is very asset specific. Okay, so breaking it down, we're at 136.93. Now, next supportish level, or resistance level rather, is 137. So we do have some way to go up there, at least 60 pips. So keep that in mind. Looking at the Canadian dollar, the opposite. It's getting stronger a little bit versus the US dollar, as we can see here. And now it's still in a very, very jiffy mood. If we look at the daily chart, it's in a very relatively, I don't want to say tight range, but it's a range, okay? And now we're at the bottom of the range for all intents and purposes. I'm looking at the Japanese yen also trading sideways, so not much doing here. Now, looking at gold, trading to new all-time record highs. If we look at it on a daily chart, dead highs, 36.96. We're only about 300 something points away from 4,000, and that would be really a monstrous move for the gold, as we're kind of going into kind of like a questionary kind of period. Economy is coming back in the United States, very specific. It's a K economy, meaning there are some that are doing well and some that are not doing well. Okay, so that's the, disparity in the market there. Now the dollar is pretty much kind of like curtailed with inflation. However, we're not out of the woods yet, and the Fed hasn't raised interest rates, so that's not out of the woods. We have some socio-economic issues with the tariff stuff is still going on with certain countries, so that's still unfolding. And we have Russia and Ukraine, and that's still unfolding as well. So, it's all factored in with the price of gold, as gold is that standard in terms of keeping us abreast with the market. Now, looking at the U.S. markets, Dow Jones right off of its all-time record highs. And if we look at the NASDAQ, trading on all-time record highs in pre-market trading even this morning, as we're right there, okay, just off of its all-time highs, and we're almost at 25,000. That's crazy for the NASDAQ to be trading so aggressively to the upside. Now let's break it down, okay? So firstly, let's take a look at JP Morgan. Although it's listed on the Dow Jones, it did hit all-time record highs at 309. Big comeback for JP Morgan on the upside. Microsoft edging higher. This is the first time it's really edged this high, okay, ever since. And you see that crossover with the 8-day over the 30-day moving average. That's important, okay? That's usually a telltale sign that we're starting an upwards momentum. But don't be breaking out for it, okay? You got to wait for the trade to actually come back to you. Meta still very, very strong on its highs, okay? Alcoa also very strong, okay, as it's pushing higher here over the 200-day moving average. On a daily, let's take a look at a weekly. Yeah, it still has some way to move above this 200-day moving average. And now looking at the other stocks, Tesla, okay, still holding off to above $400 a share after that huge gap up, okay? It might close in the gap at 400, then take it higher, okay? We saw it in the Oracle also. We saw that as well there. Now looking at NVIDIA, also on its record high. So the stocks are strong. Again, it's very specific. There are certain stocks that are very strong, certain stocks that are not, and you see that disparity. This is Razak. I want to wish you guys a great trading day. Thank you.
My advice, this is the best time to trade.